Hey Matt, we finished repairing your machine and I wanted to give you some quick start information on how to get your machine up and running as quickly as possible. We also have the instruction DVD that we're sending with the machine, and it has several hours of information on how these machines operate, how to take care of any kind of issues. Since they are mechanical with lots of levers, different things can happen. But first, this big plug is your 24-volt transformer. It's got a hole in here. While you can just stick it in the wall, you can also use inside of this box, there is a screw. And on your wall plate where you have two outlets, if you plug this in the bottom outlet and take out the screw that's holding the faceplate down, then you can use a long screw from the box and screw this to the wall for more security if you like. Go ahead and plug it in the transformer. Into the power strip. You saw a light flash here briefly, and it'll keep doing that. Basically, the transformer works a motor in the back that just turns continuously, and the pirate rows back and forth, and this cloud of his dreams goes back and forth where it could catch a ball. So, one of the first things you want to do is put some balls in the front tray. Now we'll flip the machine around and take a look at some of the items in the back. Okay, in the top corner here is a 9-volt battery. If you just connect it, that's what powers your lights, other than the one by the motor. This light up here that just came on tells us that there's not enough balls in the supply tray. So we're going to need to add some balls to the supply tray to get that light to turn off. Now before you do, you need to make sure that it's locked. Otherwise, if you drop balls in, they'll roll out and fall out the bottom. There's a little plastic lever here, and it's at an angle. It needs to be perpendicular. And the way you make that perpendicular is you pull down on this, and now that popped up into place. So we'll drop some balls in. And we could take the bucket and set it at the bottom below these two holes. That way as you play, the balls will fall out into the bucket. The most common problem with the machines is the one ball seesaw being in the wrong position. So here, this little white rectangular piece has a couple Pachinko balls in it, and it will pivot back and forth as you win. Right now it's in the wrong position. With it like this, you'll never get paid out of jackpot. Balls will back up into your machine and cause all kinds of problems. To reset it, just pivot it down like that. Now it's in the proper position. So we'll flip the machine around and we'll start playing. Okay Matt, to play, you just pull down the flipper, hold it down all the way, and then quickly let go, and it'll launch a ball onto the play field. First time we do that though, since we just loaded balls in the machine, it'll probably need to put one in the shooter lane, the shooter assembly. So now it's done that. If we flip again, it'll actually launch a ball onto the playfield. Now, this machine has a foul lane right over here, and if you pull down too far, the ball will come all the way across, enter the foul lane, and then come back to your play tray. So you have to pull down far, but not all the way. That was still too hard. Not hard enough. Okay, what we want to do here is, it's real sensitive. It seems like it's either too hard or not hard enough. There's a spring in back, so we're going to adjust that spring and hopefully have better play. And the spring was on the hardest setting, so there's just a bunch of holes. You moved it to a different hole and now it's not as tight. That's all covered in that instruction DVD as well. Oh wow. Yeah, my first shot went right down the center. That's pretty rare. But anyway, went in, the light flashed, we got paid out 15 balls. You can go fast, and you can get a lot of balls on the playfield at the same time. Okay, we got a couple jackpots. We got one in here and one in here. So when this tray fills up, you can empty it by pushing the slide over to the left. And now you can take some balls from the overflow tray, put them in a bucket, and pour them back into the supply tray and back. Thanks so much, Matt. Hope you enjoy your machine. This is the center attraction on a Nishijin C machine. While most vintage machines had nothing electronic on them, a few of them, especially towards the late 70s, would include a motor that might move something on the machine. So here, there's a motor in back that's actually moving that pirate, and so it looks like he's rowing his boat, and then the light is coming on. These motors are very old and difficult, if not impossible, to replace. We just got lucky with this one though. The motor still worked. Almost all the motors I've seen have run off 24 volts, so just got a 24 volt transformer, plugged it in, and I actually had to take the whole center attraction apart, cleaned all the levers, that way he could move freely, and then it was fine. Also initially when I plugged it in, the motor didn't turn. It was frozen from all the years of not moving, so I just gave it a jump start with my fingers, then it worked okay. Don't know how long these motors will last. I mean, this one could die tomorrow. It could last another 10 years. Hard to say. The cloud across the top that's sliding back and forth, it can catch balls. So as it slides one way or the other way, if a ball happens to fall right at that particular time, it'll catch the ball, and it'll drop through, and it'll open up a lot of the tulip pockets. Okay, here's that round motor in back, and you can see some parts at the bottom and at the top that are sliding back and forth, moving the cloud on top and the pirate on the bottom, moving his arms as he rows, and then the lights flashing. There's a micro switch over here, so as this bottom lever gets all the way over to the right, it turns on that switch, causing this light to flash.